All right, welcome to the second week of the 6-week road to freedom. Congratulations, by now you should have gone through the first week, and you should have also read Flip Your Way to Financial Freedom and the REO Rockstar. Those are both foundational books which can be found underneath the classroom in resources. So you're going to go to Classroom Resources. They're the second and third one down, Flip Your Way to Financial Freedom and the REO Rockstar. Both of these books are going to give you a basis of the wholesaling operation. Great for beginners to get a foundation of what it is that we're trying to do. So by now you should have read Flip Your Way to Financial Freedom, read the REO Rockstar, looked at the 7-step action guide, and then into training and tutorials, you should have gone through the quick start video and the first week of the 6 weeks road to freedom. So there's 4 things that you needed to do. One is to read the 2 books. Second thing you were going to do is to look at the quick start video and the 7-step action guide. And then the other thing that you needed to do is to watch the first week of the 6-week road to freedom. So that's 4 things that you should have done up to this point. And if you haven't done any of those things, please go ahead and turn this off and make sure that you go ahead and do all 4 of those things, and then come back to this second week here where everything is going to make much more sense to you. When you first get started in this business, there's so much information out there that you tend to get spread pretty thin. So what I want to do is I want to keep you as focused as possible to go ahead and maintain your goals, or to reach your goals, may I say. And that the only way you're going to do that is to put the blinders on, listen to what we're saying here, and follow the directions. The business is not difficult once you get going, but in the beginning it can seem a little overwhelming. The application is going to help you get up quicker. It's going to cut the learning curve in half. But you're still going to have to put work into this business, guys. It's what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So now that we've kind of cleared all that away, let's get to business. Let's start to figure out how to play this game, all right? And the game is buying and selling properties. The game is being a real estate investor and flipping houses. Now there's 4 main ways that you're going to be able to do that. There's obviously more, but there's 4 main. One is called wholesaling. The second one is rehabbing. The third one is buy and hold. And the fourth one is short sales. Now there is a few other ones that go in as far as strategies on buying properties. There's lease options, sandwich lease options, mortgage assignments, debt settlement, there's loan mods, all these different things. But what I want you to realize is that those 4 that I spoke about are pretty much the 4 main things as far as getting started. All those other things will come as you're in the business. When I first started out, I just did wholesaling, and from doing that, I've learned every single other strategy, and we've probably done a deal every which way to the moon. But what I really do like is after I've done all those deals and I've learned how to put those in place, now what that does is that gives me a lot of ammo as I'm talking to people that I not only have one strategy to buy their house, I now have 4 or 5. But you must start with one. If you start trying to learn every single strategy and need to know everything inside and out, you're not going to do anything in this business. The reason why is you're going to get what's called analysis paralysis. You're going to be running around trying to learn every single possible thing that you can. You're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to get burnt out. So what I would suggest is try to focus on something if you're brand new. Obviously, if you're not brand new, guys, you pretty much know exactly what to do with this system. Just plug in your information and start running your business and look at the efficiency that it gives you. The more time and the more money it's going to allow you to go ahead and concentrate on the aspects of this business which need the concentration. So, but if you are a beginner, guys, it's very, very important that you pick your niche and you continue just to take massive action, and you're going to learn a lot on the street as you go. So getting back to the game, very important that that you have that foundation. Very important that you watch these videos and read the books. And now we're going to get into the game here, which I'm very excited about. When I first got started, I went from job to job also. I went from job to job, didn't really know what I wanted to do until I came into the real estate avenue here, and I was able to get off pretty quickly with not a lot of hitches, and I started to make money. I was able to become financially free within a couple of years through doing real estate. You can have that same effect if you stay focused and positive and put some work into this business. Now, everybody talks when you first get involved in real estate that you have to put a team together. All right, so some of the people that are going to be on your team, one is a real estate broker, a real estate agent. Real estate agents are very valuable in this type of a business. What they're looking for is they're looking to obviously list properties and sell properties, but a lot of these real estate agents have buyers and different people that they work with. They have people calling their office saying that they wanted to go ahead and buy investment properties. So what I do is I wanted to go ahead and establish a realtor that's on my team. Second, I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a few minutes. So a realtor is going to be on your team, a mortgage broker is going to be on your team, and a title agency is going to be on your team. To get going, that's pretty much all you need. That's all I needed, and that's all you should need, is those three people. Then what you're also going to have to do is that you're going to have to start to get to know the market. It's one thing to understand how to be a real estate investor. The other thing is to understand how to get started and how to analyze your market. So the first thing that I want you to do, guys, is I want you to start to see what activity is going on around the area that you're wishing to invest in. So what I do is I'm going to go to my email right now, and what I do is I have got myself on all the top wholesalers' websites on their buyers list as possible, and I have a section here in my Gmail that has other wholesalers. I put a tab on it. So these are all the properties that come in from all the wholesalers around my area. Now what this does is this allows me to see the types of properties that are selling in my area. It allows me to see the areas in which these properties are being sold. It allows me to see the condition in which these properties are being sold and the price that they're being sold for. You can learn so much by these other wholesalers. And in the beginning, I mean, actually all the way through, I've done deals with a lot of different guys in my industry. I've become friends with these guys. I've sought them out. I've talked to them. I have had lunch with them, and we help each other out. I probably sell 2 or 3 properties a month that aren't even my properties because these other wholesalers come to me and say, hey, can you blast this out to your list? And that's what we do. And that's because of the relationships that I have. But getting to know your market, it has dual reasons. One is to get to know your market. So as you start to do some of this, some of the marketing here, and you're talking to sellers, you can go back into this list here and see other properties that were for sale, and you can match up prices. We'll show you how to pull comps and how to price properties, but there's no better way than to see what the top wholesalers are doing in your area and the prices that they're selling these things at. It gives you a barometer on where you need to be. All right, so that's very, very important. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and start to go through Craigslist. You can go to Craigslist and you can type, you can just look through certain properties. You can type in motivated seller. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and, or you can even go into Google and do I buy houses and find out who those main people are. When you drive around the streets, you're going to see bandit signs and different things like that with people's numbers on them. Jot those numbers down. Call these people up. Hey, how you doing? My name is Pete. Listen, I'm in the real estate game too. Just moved to the area and noticed that you had a couple signs. It looks like you're doing some wholesaling. You know, I have a lot of buyers that I work with. I was just wondering if we can kind of, you know, team up a little bit. Maybe I can sell some of your properties, or, you know, you might be able to help me on a couple things. What do you think? And that's basically how I was able to build relationships with a lot of these wholesalers. And the way that I did that, obviously, is I came into the Craigslist and I looked for I buy houses. So I buy houses. All right, so we buy houses, no fix up, no waiting. Need to sell your house fast. We all buy houses. Don't wait, I'll buy it. We buy houses, guys. These are the people that are out there that are doing the business that you're trying to get into. So it's very important that you know what it is that they're doing, that you get on their buyers list, and it puts you on the map. It basically shows you what everybody else is doing, and it's going to give you obviously more confidence to say this is what these guys are doing. They're putting these ads out here. People are calling these ads, and then they're basically getting these houses under contract, and then they're remarketed these to their buyers list, to cash buyers and different things like that. So the first thing that I would do if I was getting going in this business, and obviously you're so much leaps and bounds ahead right now because you have a system that's going to keep you on track. So what I do in a lot of these calls is I'll go right back to the finish and I'll talk about all the things that we covered. I might do this 4 or 5 times, so please don't get aggravated, but it's just to show you basically what we've gone through. So again, the first thing is to go through the videos, to read the Flip Your Way to Financial Freedom and the REO Rockstar, to start to get on these other wholesalers lists by going to Craigslist, typing in I buy houses or motivated sellers, and starting to build relationships with the other people that are doing this in your marketplace. The other thing is that I suggest to go down to the REIA meetings and talk to these guys. You know, go to the REIA meetings, find out what's going on, put yourself in the center of the action. You have to put yourself around people that are doing this business because they're going to help you along the way. You might come up with a property. You might not know what to pay for it. You might call one of your buddies that's a wholesaler and say, listen, I just got this under contract. Can you help me move it? Or can you help me negotiate it or something like that? Guys, the more power that you build with people that are doing this business, the easier it's going to be for you. All right. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and start to get on these wholesalers lists. You're going to go into your email provider. You're going to set up some type of a label to where all those properties, so it doesn't clog up your inbox, all those properties are going to come in here where you can start to do some research now on what's selling out there and the prices that things are selling. So that's very important. So go to the RIA meetings, get on any of these buyers list as possible, put them on your buyers list, and start to build relationships is very, very important. The same thing you're going to do with realtors. When I spoke about realtors before, realtors the same thing. When I call up realtors, I'm like, hey, how you doing? My name is Pete. Listen, I buy a lot of properties in the area. I'm looking for a good realtor that can help me out. Most of our deals are pre-MLS, so I'm always looking for a realtor to go ahead and sell these properties for me. We do a lot of marketing in which I get a lot of leads, and there's a lot of people that want retail value for their property that I can't handle. I would love for somebody like yourself to go ahead and list these properties for me. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with that, and it's important to go ahead and get a realtor on your side. There's a lot of realtors out there that will do a lot of work for you. They'll submit offers for you. They'll help you out in this business, but they will not do it unless they're seeked out. So you have to seek out these people. You have to do something different. If you've had a life that has not had a lot of success, you have to look back and see what it is and what changes you made. If you continue to use those same skill sets and not think outside the box, you're going to just get the same results. Again, everybody knows the definition of insanity. It's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So if you made a stand in your life and you're looking to change, you're going to have to do some different things. You're going to have to get out there and start making some phone calls. You're going to have to talk to some of these other realtors. You're going to have to call some of these other wholesalers. You're going to have to get on these buyers lists. You're going to have to go down to the RIA meetings. That will give you a really good foundation. First of all, the market that's out there, and it's going to start to help you build your team. The other thing is a title company. What I would do is I would call 2 or 3 title companies, and I would talk to somebody and I would say, hey, listen, I'm buying properties. I just moved to the area. I always use the just moved to the area, but you can use whatever you want. Just moved to the area, and we're going to be buying and selling a lot of properties. This is the type of strategy that we use. We're wholesalers. We assign contracts. Can you walk me through how it's done at your office? Anything that I need to know? I'd love to sit down with you and have you on my team. Is that okay with you? And you can go ahead and set up these appointments with title companies. And title companies are going to give you a lot of knowledge, guys. They're going to take care of that other side. They're going to make sure that your contracts are right. They're going to make sure that the closing goes well. So all that stuff is extremely important as far as building your team. So now we have a title agency that we have that we can call at any time for help. We have a realtor that we've got on our team, which we can help with comps or listing properties or help us sell. And then we have the relationships with the other wholesalers as we're on their buyers list. And then we have the RIA meetings in which we're going to start to put ourselves out there. So you've basically set up your team. There's no reason at all that all that stuff cannot be done within just 1 week. There's no reason at all. Do a little research, spend an hour or so, and start to put these things in place, get them in motion, and make sure that you check these off your list. If you come back next week and you haven't done these things, then there's only one person to look at, and that's yourself. You have to go ahead and put a little effort into this, and then the business will take off. Everything else will be very, very smooth as long as you set up that foundation. It's the same thing as building a house. If you build a house on bad foundation, it's at one point in time it's going to come crumbling down. So it's very important that you get this foundation, and then again you have the playing field, which is FreedomSoft, to run your business through. The only other thing to do after that is to market, which is to bring in these deals. All right, so that's what the basis of this call is going to be. Is going to be about marketing. I'm going to show you a bunch of different things that we do to market. Most of the things that I teach you are going to be things that I use in my business. These are techniques and strategies that I use to create hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Most of the guys on the phone, obviously everybody has huge aspirations. They want to make $1 million a year, but there's a lot of you guys that are out there that would love just to get out of your job. Whether you're making $50, $60, $70, $80, $100,000 a year, working 9 to 5 with bosses, you can do that in this business and basically have your time to yourself. And you can do that with flipping one deal a month. So some of our profits, we go down from $3,000 all the way up to $80,000 in a wholesale deal, and I know that those dollar numbers could change a lot of people's lives. So now that we understand most of these different things, let's get into the system here and let's start talking about marketing and basically how to, what I call, make it rain. All right, if we're doing wholesaling, and I don't know if I covered this in the beginning, I'm sure that I did, but I usually don't run off any scripts here. I don't have anything that I follow. I just kind of go about doing it that way. So if I repeat myself, I definitely apologize. But again, wholesaling is one of the different things that we're going to be concentrating on these calls. If you're doing rehabs, one of the great ways to get deals if you're doing rehabs is to, again, buy them from the wholesalers. You don't really have to do a ton of marketing if you're rehabbers, if you don't want to. There's a ton of rehabbers that all they do is buy deals from wholesalers. So if you are doing retail or rehabbing, the first thing I would do is go ahead and get on all these people's buyers list and start going through these deals. You'll have enough leads on a daily basis to keep you busy forever. You can notice that I don't even check any of these properties anymore because I don't have to, because I kind of know what's going on in my area. But if I didn't, I'd be in here all the time looking at these different properties and analyzing them and practicing with them. I could go into any of these houses here, let's just say this one here, and I can go ahead and start to analyze these properties, right? I can go ahead and pull comps on these houses and get an idea of what these things needed to be bought at and what they're selling at. Again, that is going to help me understand the market, so I could go ahead and practice on this. So if you are doing rehabs and stuff like that, this is a great way to go ahead and find deals. If you're doing buy and holds, that's another great way, is to come through these wholesalers and buy houses from these other wholesalers and start doing the business that way. But if you are doing wholesaling, which you're trying to get properties from motivated sellers, make a quick spread and make $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month, then you're going to need to concentrate on marketing, because you're going to have to bring in these deals. So let's go into FreedomSoft first. Let's go into the home page here. And let's talk about marketing. When I first got started in the business, the first thing that I did was bandit signs. I don't know if they're illegal in your area. If they're not, I highly suggest that you get some bandit signs. So you can go to freebanditsigns.com, and they'll basically, I think you got to pay like $12 or $13 for shipping, but they'll go ahead and give you 25 signs and stakes for free to get you started. So I would go ahead and I would get some bandit signs sent in. Second thing I would do before I start marketing is I would figure out what type of phone system that I'm using. If you guys have been doing this business for a little while, you might want to look into some type of a phone system. We use Freedom Voice, which is an 800 line service. So what we do is we put our marketing, we put an 800 line on the marketing along with the website, and then basically people call that 800 line. We listen to the message and then call them back. If you're just getting going, you don't have a budget, the best thing to do is to use your cell phone and start to send out some marketing and start talking to some people. The business will not start until you do some marketing, until you start talking to people. Once you start talking to people, the deals will present themselves to you. You will have things to work on very, very quickly. So again, if you have a budget and you don't have a budget, your direction is slightly different, but the business works in both ways. Just might take you a little bit longer to get going without a budget than if you do have one, but that does not mean that you can't get this going. I had very little startup capital when I started this business. In the first year, we did $400,000 or $500,000 in property. So that should give you a little glimmer of hope there. All right, so go to get your bandit signs. Make sure you get your phone system set up. Go make all your contacts with all your different people. Now we're ready to go. We are ready to go, and now we're ready to start talking about how to generate leads. What FreedomSoft gives you into the marketing section, we give you a couple different things. One is instant leads. The other one is cash buyers and direct mail. Cash buyers and direct mail are two of the major sources of leads that we bring into our business. All right. So one of the things that people want to focus on is, or that you should focus on, is your cash buyers. You can go into any area. Let me actually do it now. I'm going to go into cash buyers here. And let's go ahead and pick a zip code. And this is a zip code that I do a lot of business in, 33610. And I'm just going to pick a date range. So let's just do the last 90 days or so. Let's see, August, September. Let's go to September. All right, so what I did then is I went into the sold date from 9/1 to 11/24 in the zip code, and I want to go ahead and hit search. So what this is going to bring up, and again, be thinking marketing, right? Because the people that I'm going to be selling the deals to in most cases are cash buyers. These are people that are buying properties in cash. These are investors. All right, so I have 95 different people that have bought in cash over the last couple months that I can contact and I can have conversations. One of the things that you'll realize is when you go down into this list, you can pretty much tell who the investors are and who are not. Equity Heights LLC, that's an investor. 2W Properties LLC, that's an investor. Thomas Martino, I know him down here, he's an investor. Bay Area Trust LLC, Land Ida. You can see that these people are all investors in this area that are buying properties in cash. So do you think that if you found property that met some of the same specifics that they're buying properties that they might be willing to buy your property, you are 100% correct. This cash buyer section is very, very huge in getting going. If I had this when I started, I can tell you what I would do. If I started just with cash buyers, I would basically get to know these people. I would send them a letter in the mail. I would tell them that I'm getting ready to do huge marketing campaigns in the areas that they buy houses in cash, and I want to know exactly what they're looking for and what prices that they want to pay. So basically what I'm doing is I'm hedging my risk. I'm hedging my risk instead of just picking a straight up area, marketing, and then hoping that I'm going to find cash buyers. So what you can do is you can do it backwards, which is that you go after the buyer first, send some mailers out to talk to these people and start to build your buyers list. And then what I would do is use that same verbiage. I'm getting ready to do a ton of marketing in that area. I'm looking for some quality cash buyers. What exactly are you looking for? I'm going to go ahead and bring this stuff to you. All right, that's a very, very good way to get started. And if I had to do it all over and I had this system back then, you weren't able to even get this data the way that we get it now. So that's what I would do. I would focus on the buyer and then basically go out and look for those properties and market to that exact area. So let's just say in that instance, I came into this area, I see all these properties that people are buying. Now I can click on these houses. So I can click on the house here, and then I can click on Street View. Well, this one's a bad one because this sold for, looked like a lot of money, but it's telling me, I think that was just something wrong here. Let's hide Street View. Let's look, it's saying sold price $840, so I don't know what happened there. Could have been a mistake. So let's click on another house here. Sold price is $59,000, all right? So for $59,000, somebody bought this property. So now I can get an understanding of, okay, this is the types of properties that they're looking for. These things sell for around 60 grand in that area. So immediately as I'm talking to my sellers, I'm able to start matching up these properties. So I would go ahead and start to take a look at these properties and what they're selling for, get an idea of the areas. Guys, this has never been as easy as it is now. With these things mapped up on here with the street view and the price, you basically can, within seconds, you can start to understand what properties are going for in a certain area. Then what I would do in that instance is, as I send the direct mail out to these guys, now you can do it two different ways. I can pull in for a certain zip code, and the best way to think about zip codes is especially if you have been living in that area for a little while, one of the best things to think of is the schools. Right? So if I go back to my hometown, I know all the schools that are around the area and I know what types of areas they are. So I would try to pick an area that I'm pretty familiar with, and I would try to pick an area that's a little bit on the lower side. You know, so you might look for that high school that was kind of dumpy in those areas, because what that is telling me is that that is an area that landlords and people are looking to buy those properties and rent them for cash flow. And in wholesaling, those are the best areas to wholesale in, is those areas that are very, very concentrated. There's a lot of people in those areas, and there's a lot of landlords buying these properties for cash flow. So think of the schools that you went to, think of the schools that are around there. You're not going to go ahead and start doing marketing in the nicest areas, because you're going to get into these properties that are very, very expensive. So you want to go into these more transient areas with a large population of rental properties. All right, so I think I lost my place here, so let me think where I was. All right, so again, we go in here, we find. So again, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come right into the cash buyers. I'm going to start to take a look at some of the areas that are concentrated. If I go to, once I go to next, notice that these things will repopulate in this area. It's all going to be in the zip code, but I have 10 pages of people that have bought within this same area. So this tells me this is a very concentrated area of investors, and I want to get to know these guys, because these guys are going to make me a lot of money. This SJR Holdings, this not Bank of America, Premium Rentals, all right? I go down to Premium Rentals, and I can give Premium Rentals a call. What I would do is I would just go ahead and Google this address address and the name, get these people on the phone. Hey, listen, I noticed that you did some buying over in 33610. Again, I'm doing a lot of marketing in those areas. I find a lot of properties that that might fit your criteria. Tell me what you want and what you're looking to buy. Guys, you are 1 to 2 buyers away from making this an extremely easy business. Once you get one buyer that's willing to buy multiple properties a year, your only job is to market and deliver him properties. It can be as simple as that, and then you can grow from there. So just remember, the relations that you build with these buyers could take you on for a long period of time. These guys will help you. What I used to do, actually, to tell you the truth, sometimes when I was just getting going with the buyers and I knew them a little bit and I told them the same story, I'm going to do a lot of marketing, I would call them up on the phone before I even got the house under contract, and I'd say, hey, listen, I'm working a deal with this guy right here. Do me a favor and tell me what you pay for this property. And he'd give me a number which would help me negotiate. Not saying that you're going to have to do that, but it was based off the relationship that I had with that buyer that I could call him up and now use that number. So let's say he said, I need to get this at 40 grand. Where am I going to start? I'm going to start at 30 grand. And if I have to go up to 35, I know I'm good because I have a guaranteed $5,000 spread in the deal. So I would use that as negotiating power. And you can do that as you build relationships, up with these buyers. So it's really, important. Let me grab a quick drink here. So it's really important that you understand this whole cash buyer. These are the buyers. These are the people that are going to buy your properties. The better relationship you get with these guys, the better off you're going to be. Now, you can send letters to these guys in one of two ways. One is I can go ahead and I can click on the box up at the top where address is, and notice it's going to go ahead and it's going to pull up all the properties that are on this page. If I wanted to select all 95 properties, right underneath the address, you're going to see kind of a grayed out box here, and then you can go ahead and select all 95 properties, and now all 95 properties are selected. So from here, what I can do is I can create a campaign. So I'm going to go ahead and click Create Campaign, and that's going to bring me over into the direct mail wizard. Now, if I wanted just to go ahead and send these letters out myself, if I don't have a budget, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click Create Standard Campaign. All right, if I had a budget and I wanted somebody else to do this for me, I'm going to click Create Premium Campaign. So let's just say it's Create Standard Campaign. I'm going to walk you through this entire thing so you can see how it's done. All right, so basically what I want to do is I want to add a mail piece, and these are cash buyers. So I'm going to look for my cash buyer letter, and then I'm going to click on Next. All right, so it shows that we have a cash buyer letter. Then I'm going to go ahead and click on the Next button. Okay, now this is the information that's going to show up on your letter. All right, so if you don't want any of this information there, make sure you pull it. My website right now, this is showing the website for my seller site. Since I'm sending these to buyers, I want to put my buyer site up there, which is Real Freedom Property. Okay, so I want to put my website in, which is going to be on the mailers. I'm going to put my telephone number, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on the Next button. And then from here, I want this is a campaign date. So whatever date that I want on the letters, as I print these letters, this is what's going to go here. So if you want to send these out next week, go ahead and put next week's date on. If you're going to send them out the same day that you're doing it, just go ahead and keep that date, and then click the Next button. And then basically here it is. Here's your campaign. Is a cash campaign. What I would do is I would that was generated. It gives a time stamp and a date stamp, and then I would put the zip code 33610. Now it shows us that we have a mail piece, which is our cash buyer letter. We have 95 cash buyers that we selected for our mailer list, and now I'm going to go ahead and click on Finish. So first thing that I'm doing, guys, after I do all those different things, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create and I'm going to do some mailers. It's not going to cost me a lot of money. It's going to cost me a few bucks right here. So what's going to happen is now that that's being processed, what I like to do here is I just like to click refresh on my screen, and notice that that cash campaign has now just came up. 11:24, 1 p.m., 33610. So this is the campaign. At that point in time, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and view this. And now it's going to show me that everything is in here. I just want to go ahead and print these records. So I'm going to click on Print. and the system now is going to mail merge all that information. So basically it has the date, it's got the company in which we're sending the letter to, and then it's got my letter in here. Notice all this stuff is already done. These are all 95 of those people that are now going to be able to get a letter. All you have to do now is just print these all out, hand stamp them or stamp them, and write the addresses in. This should take you no longer than 30 minutes to go ahead and print this stuff out. So we just got into the system, went into an area, started looking at the properties, noticed that it was a very concentrated area, things were selling in cash. And now we're going to go ahead and send letters out to all these cash buyers. We're going to direct them to our website so they can start to fill out their information online, and we're going to go ahead and direct them to our phone if they wanted to go ahead and call us. At that point in time, all I need to do is make relationships with a couple of these guys and I'm in business. I mean, it's that easy, guys. It's that easy to start doing this, but all it takes is for you to go ahead and put action into this. So again, we've just gone through so many different things within just a few minutes here today that should make you feel excited about getting involved in this business. With the information that we have for you at your fingertips, it has never been that easy to get going. So I don't care if you're new, if you've been in this business for 5-10 years, this makes a lot of sense. So we're going ahead, we're going to send these cash buyer letters out, and we're going to start to create a buyer's list. At the same time, what I might want to do, and it depends on my budget, let's go ahead and get out of here, and notice kind of how fast we did that, guys. We've been on the call here just a few minutes, and I was able to go ahead and create a direct mail campaign to cash buyers in a certain area and send those things out within just a few minutes. That is how easy most of the things are in the system, so just understand that. If I wanted to do a premium campaign, let's just say that I didn't want to do that work, I could have just clicked on premium campaign and done the same exact thing, but that order would have been sent to our mail house. So depending on your budget, you can come in here on a monthly basis and start running your campaigns, building up your cash buyers list. So now let's go back to direct mail. So we went through cash buyers, and again, guys, I can spend a lot of time on cash buyers, and I want you to spend a lot of time yourself analyzing properties, going into different zip codes, looking back a couple different months and finding out the type of volume and cash buyers are in certain areas. And that's how I picked my areas. I went through 4 or 5 zip codes that I knew. I ran into the cash buyers. I found out how many properties are being sold in cash, and then I picked a couple areas because I felt that I would be in good shape in those areas. So it's very, very important. The other thing that you're going to want to do is direct mail. Again, we just talked about being able to send a direct mail letter from the cash buyers. Now let's talk about the opposite side. So if I have mail that's going out to the cash buyers telling them that I'm doing a lot of marketing, one of the things I might want to do now is start to send marketing out to that exact area. So the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to come into direct mail, and then again I have these 2 different options here. One is I can do the premium campaign, or I can do the stuff and stick. Now here's the thing, guys, is again, I keep on mentioning budgets because it's so important. Once you get going and close a couple deals, you don't have these problems, but I do not want to forget about the guys on the line that don't have a lot of money to get started. We've made it very easy for you to go ahead and get started even with very limited funds. If you do have a budget, what you're going to do is you're going to go into premium campaigns. Let's go talk about the people who have budgets right now and set this up for them, and then I'm going to come back and talk to you about how to get free leads down at the courthouse so you can do your own individual mailers until you get enough money to go ahead and outsource that. So I've already sent a mailer out to 33610. Now I want to create a premium campaign through direct mail to, let's see, to a certain type of a lead source. So we provide a bunch of different lists for you, or you can go ahead and upload your own lists. Remember when we talked about motivated sellers in the first section here? What we're doing now is we're going to go ahead and search for these motivated sellers. The first thing, like we talked about, was bandit signs. The second thing is going into Craigslist and looking for properties there. The third thing is to obviously go into the direct mail. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Add Mail Piece. Now this is our premium campaign. So you're going to notice that we have a bunch of different postcards and things set up here. We have everything from free and clear postcards to absentee owners and different things like that. So what I want to do is I like to send to absentee owners and free and clear owners and pre-NOD. Those are, notice, the default. So these are people that are in pre-foreclosure. So let's just say that we wanted to find properties, we're doing short sales, and we wanted to find people that are pre-foreclosure that might be in a situation for the short sale. I'm going to send a pre-NOD postcard. If I want to find someone that's got high equity in those areas that might just be looking to sell their property and get out, I'm going to send a free and clear postcard. So in this case, let's go ahead and let's just look at this postcard here for a second. I'm going to read it to you. So it's attention, selling your property at whatever the address is where it's going to obviously be mail merged. I'm a private buyer willing to buy it in cash as soon as possible. Please read below for my offer. I was driving around the other day and looked for a property to buy in your area, and then I saw yours at, and it's going to mail merge that address. Where was I at? I found yours at that. I would like to offer to buy it as soon as possible. I'm willing to pay you cash and close on a date of your choice. You don't need to worry about paying any realtor commission since I'm a private buyer. However, just understand if you're not yet willing to sell your property this time, I may contact you again in the near future. I hope you realize it's always great to have a list of potential buyers just in case you decide to sell your house later on. Interested, please give me a call. And so you can put your phone number in there, or you may also visit my website, and this is where you're going to put your buyer site. It's going to automatically put that information in there for you, and then basically you're going to put your first name and your last name in the bottom, and you're going to go ahead and send these mailers out to the same area in which we just sent the cash buyer mailers out. So what we're doing is we're hedging our bets, we're building relationships with those buyers, and then we're also sending direct mail and putting bandit signs up in that area and looking through Craigslist and everything else to find everything that's going on in this one particular area. One of the other issues that we have, or that people have getting started, is they spread themselves too thin because they're working on too big of a territory. When I first got started, I was working on 3 counties. I had no idea where anything was. What I suggest that you guys do is to focus on 1 or 2 zip codes and know those zip codes in and out. Know the roads, know the properties that are being sold in cash. Pretty much know everything you can about those certain areas. If you do that, you are going to be so much more successful than the guys that spread themselves very thin and start to market all over the place, and they just basically can't get anything done. When someone calls me on the phone, I want to know the area in which they're calling, and I know everything that's going on in that area, where I can be very resourceful on the phone. Hey, listen, Jack, I understand that you're looking to sell your property, but I do a lot of business in that area, and the problem is that REO properties are going for like $25,000 to $30,000, and there's so many of them. Why would I go ahead and buy your house for $50,000 when I can buy the bank's house down the street for $30,000? You know, I want to buy your house. Is there any way that we can come to terms a little bit closer to the prices that I can get other properties for? All right, that's what I'm doing in that situation. So by learning these different areas and knowing what's going on, it's going to help you be an expert in that area, and people are going to feel very comfortable with you on the phone since they know that you know the area. All right, so let's go ahead and pick that postcard. So it was a free and clear postcard, and let's go down to the bottom and hit select. All right, now I'm going to go to the next button. This is very similar to the one that we just went through, but this again is just going to go to our mail house. So what you're going to have to do in this situation again is you have all your information. I have the email in which I wanted to go to, my telephone number. If I wanted to put an 800 line, if you have Freedom Voice or you want these calls going to an 800 line, which is a pre-recorded message, you're going to go ahead and put your 800 line in here. Then you're going to have to go down and click on both of these boxes. What these boxes are going to tell you is that you've reviewed the information above and know that you're responsible for any mistakes. All right, so if something is spelled wrong or you didn't put the right address or something like that, you have to make sure that you go through that because we can't give any refunds. That's something that you're going to have to do. All right, from here I'm going to go ahead and click on the next button, and that's going to bring me into this section where I can pick my mailing list. Now, if you have your own mailing list, it's very easy. You just import your mailing list, and you don't have to pay for that. If you don't have a mailing list, which a lot of people don't, we give you pre-NOD, which is 60 to 90 days late on mortgage. It's great for short sales. And then we give you a couple other ones. High equity, free and clear. So these are people that have their houses paid off or they have a high amount of equity. And then we have free and clear in-state absentee owners and free and clear out-of-state. I love the free and clear out-of-state because these are people that own the property free and clear, but they don't live here. So I'm able to use, you know what's going on in Florida. This market is getting hammered. So it's a lot of great negotiation that goes in there. So if I wanted to pick that high equity free and clear owners, at that point in time I would do is I would choose my state. So I want these going into Florida, and then I'm going to choose my county. All right, so I'm going to choose Hillsborough County, and then I'm going to click on the next button. So what it's going to do is going to give me my price. Now you're going to have to send at least 250 of these things out at a time. We send a lot more, but again, depending on your budget, because it's 250 is a minimum order. So I'm going to put 250 in there, And then what I want to pay attention to are special instructions. Special instructions are really important, guys, and that's why I wanted to go through this on this video. When you do get to the spot where you're sending these direct mail pieces out, special instructions, you have to go ahead and be specific on the types of properties that you're looking to get. So I always want to look for single family and multifamily homes. So I want only single family and multi-family in 33610. All right, so what I'm doing is now I'm specifying the type of property that I'm looking to market for, which is single family homes and multifamily, in the certain zip code, which is 33610. You have to put these requests in here, guys, because otherwise they're just going to go ahead and send this out to the county, and then you're going to be spread throughout 5 or 6 different zip codes. So it's very important that you put your special instructions in there. From there, I would just go ahead and click on the next button, and here's all my mailing details, all the information that I have. It shows me I have a yellow postcard, the price, everything is all good. Cost me $100 to go ahead and set this up. And then from here, all I would do is check out. So I would have all this stuff, it would be automatic. I have my websites on here, and then I'd start to generate traffic. So if you do have a budget, the first thing again I would do is I would go into the cash buyers. I would pick an area. I would go into Craigslist or any of these other places. I would build my buyers list. I would build my wholesalers, other people's wholesaler list like we have here. All right. So we have other wholesalers. I would get all that stuff done. I would go ahead and set up my phone system. I would get my bandit sign set up. I would start to look through the cash buyer section and send out some cash buyers to start getting some feelers out. At the same time, I'm going to go into direct mail, and I'm going to go ahead and send a mail campaign in that same exact area. Guys, that is the simplest way to get things up and running and to get you started very, very quickly, okay? Very, very quickly. And that's what we do. Now, again, what I told you is that if you don't have the money to send these things out yourself, don't worry about it, because we're going to get into that now. So let me go back to direct mail right into the beginning here, and what we're going to talk about now is basically the county courthouse. All right, the county courthouse, which is usually the clerk. So what this is Hillsborough County Clerk. What I have done is I've spent a lot of time down at the courthouse. All right, I've met people, I've built relationships down there, and what my courthouse has, it has online service. So I pay like $25 on a monthly basis to get online service to this courthouse. And then what I do is I can go into the courthouse and I can start to pull records. All right, records such as divorce, such as evictions, probate properties, bankruptcies. I can do all of these things. So I'm not actually paying a lot of money to pull these lists. So again, if you're broke and you can't really afford the list that we provide, you can go get a list broker, or you can go in and do it yourself like I used to do for many years, is go down to the courthouse and start to find these leads. I'm going to put up a special video on how to utilize the county site. The only problem is that we only use the one down here and everything is different. So what I'll do is I'll probably just walk you through kind of how to set up the CSV file. You can do this by getting an intern. An intern is huge to be able to do some of this data entry for you, and you just want to keep that marketing on point. Direct mail is one of the best ways to get a lot of leads into your business. And so you can go to the county courthouse, and I would suggest that you go down there and spend some time and say, listen, I'm looking to mail to divorces, to eviction people are in divorce. How do I get those lists and find somebody down there to befriend and start to get these lists? So what we do is we have somebody that goes through these sites on a monthly basis and let's say pulls out probate records. All right, so they'll pull out the probate records, and then they come into the FreedomSoft once we have the thing, once we have the list, and then I'm going to go down and create standard campaign where I can upload that list and start sending those things out. The more on autopilot that you have your marketing, the more your business is going to stay very consistent, and the more that your buyers are going to love you, because you're constantly going to be coming to these guys with deals. All right, so you're going to build relationships with those buyers, and at the same time these guys are going to be long-term with you. So it's going to help you to go ahead and maintain a certain dollar number throughout the years as you build these relationships. So at the same time, what I did is I sent cash buyer letters and sent direct mail to those certain areas, and then you become a matchmaker. If you guys are into dating, you watch some of these crazy shows online, it's just about matchmaking. Hey, man, I got this house under contract for 35, which you're not telling them, by the way. I'll sell it to you for 42. Okay, great. I want that for 42 grand. Okay, great. Here's my assignment contract. Go ahead and fill that out. Give me a deposit. All that information goes to the title company, and they send you a check for 10 grand. Guys, it is as simple as that. I don't want you to feel like you're drinking out of the fire hose. So what I wanted to teach you in the first place here was the most simplest way to get started, the easiest way to get started. So that's what we've gone over today. We've gone through both direct mail, we've gone through cash buyers, we've gone through the bandit signs, which you're going to need to go ahead and get so you can go ahead and start marketing for those. We've gone through Craigslist as far as looking for I Buy Houses guys to set up your buyers list, and I will go through every single one of these guys and tell them the same thing. Listen, I'm doing a lot of marketing in these areas. Let me get on your buyers list. You have people that are buying properties. What price are they looking for? You just got to get into the game, all right? And then we also talked about the county clerk. Again, if you can get online access to the county clerk, guys, we do a lot of business that way. Actually, to tell you the truth, I'm looking at, which you guys can't see now on the screen, but I'm looking at a manila folder that I get from the probate division at the clerk of the circuit court. So I went into the probate division of the clerk of circuit court and told them that I wanted them to send me all the records on a monthly basis. So they basically send me a manila envelope. Doesn't cost me a lot of money. It's like, I don't know, $15 or something like that, and they send me this whole list right to my house. What I do then is I scan all that information in, and then I'm able to go ahead and create my list and get these things done. I work on a very small budget, okay? I'm not one of those guys that spends $50,000, $100,000 a month looking for leads. I am able to generate a lot of business off a very small budget. All right, so those are the main things that we went through that I wanted to talk about. I'm going to talk about some other things, some other ways to market your business. All right, so let's go into FreedomSoft here, and let's go into Classroom under Resources. All right, and one of the things that you're going to see down here is marketing materials. On the bottom, we have business card templates, which is We Buy Houses. You're going to put your information in. We have a flyer, which is another Word doc. And then we have another flyer down here that's got like, let's just go ahead and pull this thing up for you here. All right, let's just go ahead and download this so you can take a look at it. Hold on here with me. Takes a second to open here, guys. If it ever does open, please, sesame. Okay. All right, so basically sell or lease your house today, transfer, bad tenants, need cash fast, behind on payments, house vacant, moving, double payments, divorce, estate sale, house simply won't sell. This is looking for motivated sellers, right? And then on the bottom of this thing here, oh, you have a second one. I guess the first one just came up. So basically what you would do is you put in your information and then start to put these things out. Put them out in laundromats, put them out in convenience stores, drop them at gas stations. Do whatever it is that you need to do to try to generate traffic. We have a bunch of different things set up for you guys, and all you have to do is take the action. And again, this does not cost money. Just get a ream of paper and start printing these things out and putting them all over the place. Down at the courthouse, all over the place. All right, and then again, like I said, you have the business cards also. Let's go back here. I'm getting lost here in tabs. Let's go back. All right, and then you also have this flyer template on the bottom, which is really cool also. And this you can put, we've put this out at laundromats all over the place, and they can pull the little tear thing on the bottom here and start to call you that way. So guys, this is a great way to get leads up and running. You can put your ads in Tampa Bay in Craigslist. So let's just go into some of these different ads. And again, you're going to get so much knowledge by going into these things and seeing what other people are doing. So you're seeing what they're doing, you're seeing the advertising that they have, and then you're going to basically copy a lot of these different things. So let's go into the first one. We buy houses cash, no fix up. So this guy's put an ad in here, sell your house in 10 days or less, no fix up, no waiting, no hassle. Call about our guaranteed 24-hour offer. Click here to visit our site, sellhousenow.com. All right. So I'm looking at these things, and what you can do is you can start to put these things out for free on Craigslist to start generating traffic to your websites. All right. So just think of how it all goes down. as our marketing is getting set up, as we're putting ads out in Craigslist, as we're putting bandit signs out, as we're talking to our realtor, as we're talking to other wholesalers and cash buyers, we have marketing now that is attracting to put all these pieces together. So as the marketing is coming in with this motivated sellers, we have the people coming in from the cash buyers, and we're just basically building relationships and being the middleman. In wholesaling, that's all you are, is a middleman. You want people to feel like you're going to be able to take care of them, and this is the marketing that you're going to need to do it. So again, we went through a lot of different ways now on how to do marketing for free, basically with very little cost, or if you have some dollars, you can get your campaign set up right now so quickly it's not even funny. Make your relationships with your realtors, make your relationships with your mortgage brokers and your title companies, and you guys are in a very, very good shape to start this business. And that's most of the game here, guys. I'm not going to go ahead and overwhelm you with 900 different ways till Sunday to do this. What I want to do is give you the easiest ways first, so you're not confused, so you don't feel like you're drinking out of the fire hose again, and to be successful in doing this. So those are the things that I suggest that you do. Let's go back to FreedomSoft here. Again, is to go ahead and download these things, put the information in. One of the last things I want to talk to you about is instant leads. Instant leads is a great way also to bring in leads. All right. One thing that you can do is you can import leads from the MLS. If you're doing REO properties and you're looking for a place to house those leads and analyze them, what you're going to do is you're just going to click on the import button here, and then you're going to import your new lists from the MLS, from the auctions if you're doing auctions, REO tapes, whatever the case is. As long as it's in a CSV file, you can go ahead and import that. Or also you can go ahead and you can search the MLS. So I'll go ahead and check off FSBO, and let's click on MLS and hit search. Let's go into that zip code 33610, and let's go ahead and hit search. So from here, what you can do is you can start to search the MLS. If you don't have MLS, this is the second best option. However, if you're going to be successful in this business, MLS is something that you're going to definitely want to get a hold of. It's just going to help you out that much more. There's so many properties that are getting sold in the MLS. It's got a lot of great information. Not to say that you can't do this business without the MLS, but it should definitely be something that you're striving for. What I have is what's called an assistance key. Okay, so I made relationship with a realtor, and I said, hey, listen, I do a lot of these properties, buy and sell. Can I get an assistant key? And then anytime that I have properties that I want to list, I'll go ahead and list those properties with you. And he says, absolutely. So he called up and said, listen, I need to get a key for my assistant. I don't have a real estate license, so which I did not want a real estate license. I didn't have one, and so he was able to go ahead and get me an assistant key. Now I can get on at any point in time and utilize the MLS. So with instant leads, this is for a lot of times for people that don't have access to some of these other lead sources to get you up and get you going. One of the cool things about the instant lead section here is that it brings in the pictures of the property, it brings in the price of the property, but then also brings in the contact and the phone number. So these are all realtors that are selling properties. So what a great way that I can call, let's say, Mark Pace down here at 5711 North 43rd, and I can call him up and say, hey Mark, how you doing? I noticed you had a listing on 5711 North 23rd. I buy a lot of properties in that area. I do a lot of marketing. You know, is there any ways that you think we might be able to work together? You know, do you have any buyers or anybody's looking for anything specific? You know, I'm making 5, 10, 15 of those calls a day, so I can get used to talking to these people so they know my name. And so that's a great way to go in here and start to build contacts with these realtors and put these into your contact list and get these people on your buyers list. I mean, it's all right there for you. The other thing that you can do is you can use this to analyze prices also. So I can go in here and I can click on any of these properties again and see the actual street view of the property, which to me I use all the time. Again, this was a condo here, so let's go ahead and hide it. Let's just go find another property here and click on street view. Okay, and so here's that property. This property is being sold for $39,000. I get an idea of what's selling. I can walk down the street here, so as my marketing starts coming in, I know pretty much if someone's going to go ahead and say I need $100,000 for this area, I know that I'm not going to be able to sell that to a cash buyer. Things start to become very evident as you're doing this business, as you're talking to people, and as you're setting your foundation. One of the other things that you can do is you can go ahead and view this lead. If I view the lead, it's going to bring me to the second page where I have all the information about the property. I know what the property is. I know the MLS number. I can go ahead and click on the map up here, or I can go ahead and click on the street view. I have the information about the company that's listing it. I can see pictures of the property, the shape of the property that it's in, and then I can easily go down from property to property by just clicking on the link, and this is going to bring me down from property to property. As I see properties that I like and I want to make offers on, what I do then is I'm going to go ahead and save that as a lead. So if I save this at a lead, let's just say it's 9863 Ashburn Lake, let's go ahead and click Save as Lead. Okay, so once it's saving as a lead, what it's going to do, it's going to go ahead and prompt me to, let's see when it comes up here. Okay, I must have hit the wrong button here, guys. Let's go into seller search. 9863 Ashburn Lake. That's what we just brought in, okay? So what it's going to do here now is I'm going to able bring this into the system, and it's going to copy all that information. It's going to tell me who that contact person was. It's going to give me all the information about that property. It automatically comes in here. Everything is auto-filled in, and then from here what I can do is I can start to analyze this property. It brings in the pictures and everything. Notice how it brings in the entire thing right into our lead. Everything is perfectly put in there, and then from here what I can do is I can start to analyze this property with the comms, and I can send out my offers. So I can go through instant leads that way also. The other thing instant leads has is some FSBO leads that we have in there. These are for sale by owner, so I can go ahead and I can just do a search for sale by owner leads. I can also go in to the MLS again, and I can click on show advanced search. Once I show advanced search, let's say I was into the short sale market, I'm going to do a keyword as short sale, S-H-O-R-T, short sale, and I want to see the short sale listings that are in here that I might want to make offers on also. All right, there's a lot of people making offers on short sale deals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put in the keyword search and then wait for the properties to come up here. Usually takes a second to go ahead and get set up. All right, so there we are. So now it's bringing in a lot of different, actually, you know what? I didn't even put a zip code. That's why it took so long. 336. Let's go ahead and put a zip code in there. And now let's go ahead and stop this. And then what I'm going to do is just going to go ahead and research. Forgot to put the zip code in there. So here now I put the zip code, I put the short sale as a keyword, and now all the properties that are being listed as short sales are going to come up here. So if I clicked on view here, what it's going to show me is that this is, well, the short sale was the keyword. So anything that has short sale in the description is going to come up. So this is actually, it says not a short sale. Let's go to one of these other listings here. Not a short sale, okay. Short sale, this move-in ready townhome, okay. Go down to Idlewild, short sale. All these are different short sales that we have that you can make offers on. So you can go ahead and put keywords. You can do bank owned. So I can go in here and put bank owned. I could put motivated seller. I can keyword search for anything. And again, we're hooked up to about 80% of the top MLSs in the country. So this is really just going to help you get started if you don't have access to the MLS to be able to utilize these different things, make offers, practice, talk to people, and that will set it up that way. One of the last things I wanted to talk to you about was the Gorilla Gear. Obviously, I talked to you about freebanditsigns.com. I would suggest to go ahead and get the free bandit signs right now, and then as you get going in your business, you could also come into Freedom Soft and buy your buy your bandit stakes and your signs and frames here. All right, so let's think about anything else that I missed. All right, we talked about the cash buyers, talked about sending out some of the mailers. One of the big things, I guess, now is just the courthouse. It's really figuring out how to get this information. Guys, marketing in this business is a huge element, all right? It's a huge element to find and locate these motivated sellers and match them up with buyers, all right? You want to be talking to motivated sellers on a daily basis. You're going to go ahead and put ads out on Craigslist. You're going to go ahead and set up your team. You're going to go ahead and start posting ads on Craigslist. You're going to you're going to go down to the RIA meetings. You're going to get all these things done. Everything that we went over in this call right now, again, are things that you can implement within a couple of short days. All right, so by the end of the week, I know this is Thanksgiving week, or depending on when you're actually listening to this call, by the end of the week you should have all this stuff done. You should be extremely ready. You should have a very basic understanding of what is going on. And then what we're going to talk about next week is we're actually going to start talking about how to talk to these sellers. So as my marketing now starts to work, Now what I want to do is how to get the information out of the seller, how to build rapport with that seller, and how to negotiate those properties with doing comps and sending out offers. So again, what I do is I do it very, very slowly, and I want you to take it piece by piece. I don't want to jump around and start talking about contracts right now or talking to sellers. I feed some of that stuff in our conversation, but it's very important that you go step by step. So the first thing was getting to know the actual landscape. The second thing is understanding marketing, how to do marketing, how to do low-cost marketing, how to do high-cost marketing, and then who is actually the person that I'm interested in making relationships with. In this case, it's those cash buyers. Again, you're a couple cash buyers away from making this business so ridiculously easy. You build a relationship with a guy that's looking to buy 5 or 10 houses a year, and it's over. You're basically that you're just working for him in that instance. And then obviously you're going to find other properties. So we went through all the different ways, the cost-effective ways of doing this stuff. And then next week, what we're going to do again is we're going to start to talk about as these leads come in. As the leads come in, how do I handle it? If a lead comes in from my website, so if I send out my marketing materials all online and I get people to my website, how do I handle that lead? If I send out direct mail or bandit signs or Craigslist and people are calling my phone, how do I handle that lead? How do I talk to that seller? What questions do I ask? How do I understand the process? And that's what we're going to go over next week also. Let me just see what we have here, see if there's anything else that I forgot. Let's see. I think that's about it, guys. I don't want to, again, give you too much information. I think that's about all that we're going to go through. You already know that your plan, you know all the things that you need to do, and you guys should be in a really good foundation moving forward. So that is the second week of the Road to Freedom. And next week, like I said, we're going to be going through all that stuff with talking to sellers and get you guys on board. And next Tuesday night, we have another class, which is another mastermind class, which is a call-in. And guys, anything that we talked about here, what I want you to do is I want you to start bringing those questions that I can answer face-to-face, or not face-to-face, but I can unmute you and I can talk to you in person, and you guys can ask me anything that we went over here, anything about marketing, any different strategy that you have, things maybe that I didn't cover, things you'd like to add to the table. But right now, those are things that I think you can handle, and we should be good to go. So that's the second week of the Road to Freedom. I can't wait for next week so we can really start to get into a lot of the meats and the potatoes of this business so you guys can start making money. Talk to you soon.